Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Yes, another week has passed. Thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate that. Or on the replay, my name is Scott. Welcome to Go Small, Live Large, a YouTube channel dedicated to the Class B RV lifestyle. Thrilled to have you here on the live chat. We got a lot of folks coming in already. This is great. This is our weekly show covering your questions. This is really about you and some programmed content. We got a really interesting batch of viewer question, recommendation, song this week. And I'm just really excited to have you here for the live show or for the replay. Let's kind of cover a few ground rules. The question format for live questions is 3 asterisks followed by 3 question marks, and then ask your question, please. That's the format that Kevin Martin has made famous of 30 and a Wake Up. We give a big shout out to him. If you haven't joined his channel, please do that. And we like to give a shout out to Chad and Paul, who now have moved from a Travato into a Storyteller Overlander rig. They're the one that helped me discover the software package that makes this possible tonight. So thanks to those 2 YouTube friends. We love those guys. Let me know where you're watching from. I am just super curious. I'm spending my last days in Florida. I've been in Florida since December of 2020, and I'm kind of tired of sun and palm trees, I have to admit. So let me know where you're watching from. Here we've got some folks coming in from Nashville. Was it Nashville? Yes, Nashville. Terry, welcome. Oh, can't wait to get back to Nashville. Love Nashville. Sioux City, Iowa. That's actually a pretty cool town. I've been there as well. Here's Deming, New Mexico. Awesome. Cincinnati. Linda, frequent commenter. Have I been to Cincinnati in my van? I don't think I have. It's a great town, though. I've been there before. So here, let me show you what we're talking about today. What kind of show format. I've had a cup of coffee before I got on. So we have no special guest tonight, but we have a really special announcement because next week we have Volta. Yes, Jack Johnson, co-founder and chief technology officer of Volta, has agreed to come on to the show live and answer questions about trends in RVing, lithium-ion systems, chemistry. I have a Volta-equipped Travato, as you well know, and he is really excited to be here. And this is your chance to interact with a bigwig in the RV industry, really out on the edge of what is possible. So join us, please, next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, for What's Up Wednesday. Jack Johnson, Volta, is going to join us live. That's a huge deal, folks. I do some arm twisting to get him on, even though I'm their brand ambassador. But he's actually on vacation next week, so he's going to, carve out some time for it. It's pretty cool. Also, next week, really special. If you are a fan of the Embassy RV, pay partner here on Go Small, Live Large, Terry's going to have an exclusive, not on this show, YouTube Live dedicated to Embassy RV, and that's going to be Friday. Next Friday it's a different time, so be sure to mark your calendars here. 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, Friday, April 9, and it's all about Embassy RV. He's got some demos he's going to show us. And if you're shopping for a Class B RV, if you're really curious what innovation in the Class B RV space looks like, for example, there's no wood in an Embassy RV, and he approaches everything very differently than everybody else, which is why I love working with him. He's great. He was on the show last week, and you guys just blew him up in all the right ways. So join us next week. And we, again, have some really great upcoming special guests. We mentioned the Tax Queen. If you're curious about RVing and taxes, we've got Heather joining us. And I mentioned our 2, some of our favorite YouTubers, Chad and Paul. Kevin Martin's joining us. And another water company, Clear2O. I made a video with these guys. And if you didn't get enough water quality questions asked and answered last time, you'll want to check in for that. And then we have RV news headlines this week. You wouldn't believe how much Winnebago is printing money these days. It's pretty awesome. And we got our viewer recommendation. And of course, we've got viewer question. And this one, each of these could be a video of its own. How often do you stay in an RV park? What about truck washes? So we're going to get to all of that tonight. And of course, get to your live questions. So with that, let's kind of dive in. Whoops, one more thing. And if you haven't seen the video we posted on it was on Sunday, normally I do Saturdays. This was a really hard video to make. And the reason we don't have Vanlife Luke climbing around the van this time of night, wanting to go out because it's werewolf hour, is because we had to euthanize Luke about 4 weeks ago. And I just want to say thank you to all of you that made me and Kyle feel so special. I was blown away by the humanity of this audience. I shed as many tears answering your comments as I did putting the video together. It was just the most humanizing experience I've probably had, other than meeting you, some of you individually, face to face. It just made such a connection to me. And you shared with me how you've lost family, you've lost pets, how you've kept on trucking. And I got to tell you, it really shook me up. I was not expecting that. And so again, thank you so much for hanging in there with us. And probably gonna get a cat. We might do a viewer poll, but I'm getting a lot of pressure to do another cat. So so yeah, goodbye Vanlife Luke. It's been so hard. I can't tell you what, it's just taken the soul out of the van, but we keep trucking on. So there's more souls to save. So so let's get into some questions. This is, again, about you. I do have some programmed content, but it's about your questions and your ability to, your opportunity to answer some questions. So let's get some of those. So here's Bob talking about Luke. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I just want to keep it honest. You know, we share the good, the bad, the ugly. Most of it's good, some of it's bad, some's really ugly. That would be Luke. But Bob, I really appreciate it. And everybody's just been so awesome. Upstate New York, hello. Wisconsin, hello. So great. There's Sherry from Wisconsin. She's getting her embassy here just soon. California calling in. This is great. So what questions do you have? My Siri just went off on my iPad. That's funny. And Carl Cabot looks like, is Carl in the house? Yes, Carl from Mantino. We used to live just down the street in Kankakee. So let's go ahead and get your questions rolling in. This is your chance to ask anything. Vans, Travato, RVing during these times, weather, what maybe you're planning a route, maybe you're just getting a delivery of your vehicle, maybe you are just taking your first trip. What questions do you have? How could I provide some advice for you there? I just love how everybody's talking amongst yourselves. That's great. I just love it. It's so great. Last day in Quartzsite. Is this Jane? Nope, this is a Mac Weather Bear. Last day in Quartzsite. Getting too hot. Yeah, it's getting hot down here too. Hot and humid in Florida. So I'm excited to get out of here and into spring because it's endless summer down here. Okay, so let's cue in your questions. Let's talk about the viewer question of the week. And each of these questions really could be a video of their own. And hopefully, I'm going to do my best to explain these. So Eddie Shaw, let me put this big so you folks can read it. So Eddie says, greetings, Scott. How often do you stay in an RV park to get your shoreline power, shower, and water refill and dumping? So, and then he asks about truck washes. We're going to get into that. And he asks about Walmart Cracker Barrel. We're going to get into that. And did you ever get in trouble overnight parking? Now, each of these could be a video of their own. So what I've done is I've kind of broken it out into some separate segments here. So so let's talk about his first question here, which is staying at an RV park. So here's the way I like to roll. Now I'm kind of the unusual one. Most people run to the parks, national parks. I'm not a big fan of national parks because they're really crowded, really over. You have to schedule out. Same with state parks in a lot of cases. And anyway. So I'm more of an urban cowboy. So what I like to do is not be out in the nowhere. I like to be in the somewhere. And what I typically do is I run 3 to 5 days using a combination of street camping, which is just parking on the street, harvest hosts, or boondockers welcome. And then on the 5th or 6th or 7th day, then I go to an RV park or a campground where I can plug into shore power, which is good. Volta recommends that. Certainly if it's extreme heat or extreme cold, you want to be plugged in. Has been my experience. And then I do my tank duties and I just kind of chill and relax because I don't have to keep moving around, which is kind of nice. So what I've done is I want to show you what it looks like to be a Harvest Host member. So zoom in on your screens here. So Harvest Host is one of two, really three, but certainly two essential memberships that I offer on my website, GoSmallLiveLarge.com. You click the link there and you get 15% off. I make a couple bucks, so thank you for that. But Harvest Host, what it is you pay, which is going up, by the way, so buy now, a membership to a database that is of wineries, farms, museums, brew pubs, points of interest. These are the ones in Florida. So you can see there's a lot of them, golf courses. And what I do is that most of these places allow you to stay one night. You have to kind of make a reservation. They've actually made a reservation engine now on their site, so it's real nice. You don't have to do an old time phone call. It's a day out, so you make it a day out. So I would stay at a Harvest Host. So if I'm in the Tampa area, I'll let you see this again. You can see that I can stay at a different Harvest Host every night, probably for 4 or 5 or even 7 or 8 nights, and that's really cool. And that's what I do. I roll around to different Harvest Host sites. Now, if it's a business, they expect you to, buy a little bit of their product. Wineries, buy a bottle of wine. Golf course, buy a burger and a beer at the bar and grill there. That's okay. And it's just a really nice way to move around, and you go to places you wouldn't normally go, and you meet people that are like-minded, and it's really, really nice. The other program that I'm using a lot these days, in fact, I'm staying in one right now. I'm in a gentleman's driveway in Tampa. Bob, hi Bob, hope you're watching. He's on the other side of the door. Boondockers Welcome. Again, you pay an annual fee. It's really insignificant. It's like $50 or something like that. And look at all these Boondocker Welcome sites in Florida. They're everywhere. And between the overlay of Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome, I can stay just about anywhere, any night of the week, and be safe. The difference here is there's no expectation of anything from the host at Boondockers Welcome, whereas Harvest Host, you're on commercial property, so you're kind of expected to buy something. Mine are never cheap. Bob's let me plug in here, and they clearly state on their website what services and amenities they have. He lets you top off your water, and I've plugged in, so it's $10 a night for power, which is fine. It's hot in Tampa. Can I use my Volta system? Yes, but it's just easier to plug in. In this case, and so that's kind of how I roll. And then on the 5th or 6th day, because my tanks are getting full, right now, I could go empty tanks at an RV park or a truck stop, something like that, and then continue the program through Boondockers Welcome, Harvest Host, or street camping. But what I like to do is go to an RV park, and I like KOAs a lot. I like KOAs because they're consistent. They have a really great app. The staff is usually pretty awesome. It's about a 50-50 whether or not the park itself is going to be really awesome. If you haven't seen my video on the one I did with the covered wagons and all the craziness, it was so much fun. They usually have decent Wi-Fi. And if you look at the KOAs there in Florida, you can see there's a bunch of them too. So between those two options, then I'm able to run my week and kind of plan it out, a couple days in advance by just doing Harvest Host, Boondockers Welcome, and then a KOA once a week. And it works out really, really well. So that's kind of how I like to do it. I'm just kind of curious, is that helpful at all? Is that the way you plan to roll through things? And if there's a national park or cool state campground, I kind of scoping things out, I would stay there instead of a KOA. But I've found that they're really hard to get in. They're so booked up, and even in a van, if you're staying for 2 or 3 nights, you're kind of bouncing around between sites, and some of the cancellation policies are really punishing. I've learned. So I just kind of stay at the commercial parks right now. Maybe it's just because it's Florida and it's still coming off peak season. I'm not sure. So Eddie had another part of the question, which is, so hopefully that was helpful. But he asked about the truck stops and car washes. And oh my God. So do not make the mistake I did, which is actually go to a truck wash. Because if you look at this, so I did a video on this. This was posted December 26, 2018. I'd had my rig less than 90 days. And there I am in December at one of our Airbnb properties washing the van. You can see down by the propane that I still have stickers, warning labels on my van. And you know how I feel about those, as in get them off. So 90 days and I still have a gas fill point warning label on there. That's pretty funny. But what happened is I was taking my rig to go see my parents, my first big trip from Chicago to Washington State, and I wanted to show up with a shiny rig. It was filthy. And I saw this sign, truck wash, RV wash. I'm like, this is going to be great. And so I pulled in there. It was like $25, and these guys just kind of stand around this huge cavernous shed-like building. And I'd never seen a truck wash. I never knew what they were about. And they started pounding my rig with these super high pressure hoses and this wand that was like a broom you would broom a barn floor with, up and down, and they actually scratched my van. I didn't notice until later. It came out clean. no doubt about it. They did the sides, the back and the front, the tires didn't go on top. But it was a mess in the sense that they scratched my van, and it was, I'd never have done it again. And those acrylic windows, I got to tell you, they didn't like any of that. And I told them to be careful, and I'm not sure they were. So my advice is to safely wash your own rig. Buy a wand. There you can see it again. It's like $25 at Walmart. It's made specifically for RVs, and it is something I carry in my rig all the time. I use all the time, and it connected to my own hose. I just need a faucet, and I've hand washed my rig now ever since this day. And now with my wrap, I wash it even less, maybe once a month or less, but same principle. So please don't make the mistake I did. Now, if Ginger Walkabout's in the house tonight, she will disagree with me here. She's gone to Blue Beacon or Blue something that I'm guessing many of you have been to, and they're gentle. She tells me, but I'm not trusting anybody, certainly to my wrap. So that's a hand wash thing. So good question, Eddie. And so that's a lesson learned. Please don't make that mistake. And then his next question is around the convenience of put it up here for you so you can see it. Keep your questions coming in. I see it. I'll look at you right next. So the next portion of his question is, I thought the convenience of a class van is you can do overnight parking at a Walmart Cracker Barrel lots or city street parkings. So let's talk about that. And as I'm traveling around, and I'm curious if you were seeing the same thing, if you're seeing a lot of this, and that's particularly at Walmart's, and this is no overnight parking, no RV parking. And if you look at this sign carefully, there's an ordinance number. See the ORS 446-310? Those are local ordinances. So Walmart may be overridden by the local town. And what I'm seeing as I go around is that people are not being respectful of the free overnight at Walmart that Walmart at large allows you to do, but ordinances are coming in because people are literally camping out. I've seen some horror stories of garbage, people putting out their awnings, camping out versus having a night of convenient, quick parking, rolling around 8 p.m., roll out at 6 a.m. These folks are camping out. And if you Google no overnight Walmart parking, see some of the pictures and stuff and the signs. And what happens is people abuse it, and then the citizens get up in arms, and it's so easy to put up a sign that says no RV parking, no overnight parking, than having to deal with people and be policemen. The Walmart folks have more things to do. So I have not stayed in a Walmart parking lot for a very long time because I harvest host, I boondockers welcome, I stay in appropriate park. And I am using, though, Cracker Barrel. I'm finding them to be super friendly. They make a pot roast meal and a really good eggs meal. And so I am staying there. And I find that they are way quieter and way more, the RVers are more friendly, more respectful. Although I am seeing there, too, some disrespectful people rolling in early in the day, staying all through the night, and rolling out late in the morning, and even multiple days. Now, maybe they have a special arrangement with the restaurant there. I don't know. But just old jalopies, and to me, it's just so easy for them to say, you know what, we're tired of dealing with it, and just no more parking overnight. So hopefully, Eddie, that helps you out a little bit. And I made a video, set 10 secrets of street camping. If you haven't seen that, that should help you with street camping. Camping, one viewer said, hey, don't call it camping. It's going to give people false impressions, which is correct. It's really street parking. Because when I'm on the street, I am not rolling out anything. I am being buttoned up and being respectful and being a good neighbor to those around me. So great question, great viewer of the week question. And hopefully you found some value there, because any one of those could be a video in of itself. So let's take a look at what other great questions we've got coming in here. And people are just coming in from all over today. This is just great. Here's the Bay Area. This is fantastic. There's in Florida, fantastic. Questions. I saw a question right here. So Sherry's got a good question here. What do you use to track the weather? So I use an app called Dark Sky. It is a paid app. I think it's like $5. And what's great about it is GPS specific to your location. So in Chicago, it's so big. Florida too, right? If you do Tampa, weather. It's kind of the greater area, but this is specific to your GPS location. Dark Sky is the app I use. There's a bunch more. I kind of scan what the next few days are in front of me. Let's see if I can get this to work quick. I don't overly worry about the weather because it's going to be the weather anyway, although it's good as an RVer to kind of be. So here's Tampa. So it kind of gives you a data glance. If that's going to come out for you or not. And then for a week, and they can really zone in. The other thing that's really cool about this is you can set notifications. So if it's going to start raining, it notifies you at your location, not Tampa at large, but at your actual location. So if you got the windows open or the awning out or something like that, you can actually take action for it. So you probably have a bunch of apps. I'm curious if you folks have those apps. In fact, we have viewer recommendation. We have a special email address to get those tips from you. I don't know everything, that's for sure. So it's GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. So send us your recommendations there. Terry's got a good question. Where to next? Yes, I am Floridaed out. I've seen enough palm trees. Oh, I love Florida. It's truly endless summer, but I'm ready to get into some cooler weather. So great questions. I'm headed to Savannah next week. I'm going to meet Kyle in Savannah. And we're going to finally go do our videos that we've been talking about for many months and together on his RV. So we're going to spend some time in Savannah next week. And then I'm moving on through some Volta obligations through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then over into Kentucky, Tennessee, and then up into Ohio, and then Indiana, and then Michigan. All that in the next 60 days. So it's going to be a busy time, and I'm so excited. So much going on. I'm just so excited to get back on the road. I played Willie Nelson's On the Road again yesterday as I was leaving home base for the last time until end of the year. It was so awesome. Here's a good question, and I got a tip for you here, actually. What do you do during dangerous storms? So I kind of track them, as I talked about with those. And you can see, there's weather coming in on the radar, right? So I just kind of gauge how bad it's going to be. Here's what not to do. I've learned this. I tried to outrun it. Yeah, that was a bad mistake because it actually overtook me when I knew it was going to. This was in Arkansas, Alabama. I think it was Alabama. I was watching the storm. I left Mobile post haze and was headed someplace, and I was trying to get away from the storm. It was going to overrun me. It was a big storm, and so what I did is I kind of rode it out in a Walmart parking lot. Actually, it was the middle of the late afternoon, and what I like to do is be in a place where there's very few trees, and if there are, they're very small, so no damage, no potential of branches breaking off. That's a huge concern for me. My hot tip for you here is, if there are loose carts in the parking lot that you're going to kind of hunker down in for a little while, move the carts to the cart corral. I am not kidding you when I will tell you that this shopping cart was going, I could see it from my cab, and I was praying to God it wasn't going to hit my van. It hit the car next to me, which is on the other side of this parking island, and it left a dent in their car. So if I'm hunkering down, I look for a place where there's no trees, so there's no branches going to be falling, and I would put away all the carts around me, so there's no errant, loose, abandoned carts that can be pushed by the wind into the side of my van or other cars for that matter. Now, some of you may disagree with this. If it's true, like a tornado or something like that, I haven't been faced with that yet. So if it's tornado season, I probably wouldn't go where there's tornadoes, which is in the Midwest in the summer, which is where I always am. So then we're praying and hoping. Good question. Florida Panhandle, yes, that's a great place to be. So Ronald's got a good question here. How are we doing on time? Good on time. So Ronald says, "Hey Scott, have you seen firsthand the Embassy Duo? If so, your thoughts?" I actually have not seen one in person yet. He was just putting that together when our camp out event happened last June. So I've not seen one in person yet. I will be seeing him in May. So we're doing a number of things in May, and so stay tuned. And maybe he can give us in fact, it's on the agenda point for next week when we do the YouTube Live exclusive with Embassy, is to, excuse me, see if we can get us a little bit of a tour of that rig. excuse me, part of the challenge is he gets a customer order, he builds them, and out they go, and the customer's running around them. So it doesn't have a showroom per se, and that's kind of a challenge. But so this is an interesting question. I'm curious, Sherry, any recommendations for a travel log app? Travel log. So like places you've been and you're kind of keeping a journal? Is that what you're talking about? I keep a daily journal. My iPad's being used for the second screen where I'd show you. That's what I do. And I had a really elaborate one at first. And then it was like so many questions and fields to fill out. It just became a burden. So I got rid of it. And well, I shouldn't say that. I kept skinning it down. Let me just see if I can find this fast. One thing I do have for sure, and I need to actually update this because we just had a full moon, is I have a full moon log. You see that? So every full moon, I take a picture of the full moon. Where was it taken? What was I doing? And you'd be surprised at how a full moon just brings it back as a milestone. So I'd recommend that. That's a lot of fun. And there's Kyle. We looking at the full moon together. You see that? So I'd recommend that. That's pretty cool. But the other thing I do is I have a daily journal. Mine's fairly elaborate, but I keep notes to make sure I'm not giving any secrets away here. But I want to do this. So bear with me. Doing two things actually. So I have a format that I use. Format that I use every day. And it's my goals for the year. Write down what's my most impactful goal for this year. It's amazing how if you write down your goal every day, how it sticks in your brain and you take action. It's kind of a to-do list. I break that into 3 sections. Do what matters most, other important tasks, and then quick wins, and then thoughts and notes for the day. And that's where I would actually put kind of the journal as the day rolls forward. And then there's kind of an evening review, kind of best moments from the day. So this is what I've found what works really well for me. It's simple. It's on my iPad, so I use my Apple Pencil to fill in. I handwrite everything into this form, and it works really, really well for me. And then what I also do is that I put a picture in. You guys are going to see this later. So I have a picture, kind of the picture of the day, if you will. This is from Friday. So at a glance, as they come up in my string, you can see here that in a moment's notice, just at a glance, that photo takes me back to that day. So that's kind of what I do for a travel journal, a travel log. If it's something specific to the campsite, it ends up becoming a video or content that I've created for a video that's never been shown. But what I am also doing now, because I've got so many obligations, is make sure this is what I've done again is I created a form that I call route plan. Now you can be really detailed on this. I just learned long ago that's a horrible way to do it. So what as I do by week, 4 to 5 weeks in a month, is I kind of sketch out where am I going to go, why, and where. And this kind of helps me plan some of the harvest hosts, some of the Boondockers Welcome. Let me show you March. Whoops. Is this helping out at all? I hope. So again, what I do is I color code everything because I'm weird. So green is the channel, purple is the Volta and Embassy, and then blue is kind of me personal. So then I kind of just write down where am I going to go, and it really gives me a sense of comfort as to where am I going to go. Have I made that reservation? And I have trajectory that can be changed at any time. All these things you can cancel out on, but it just gives me a great deal of comfort that I know where I'm going and why, and just keeps me on point. So that's something I've just started doing the last couple months, and it really, really helps. So so the app I use is Apple Notes. I use my pencil voraciously on my iPad, and that's kind of how I do a travel log. So maybe if you can clarify just a little bit more, or some other folks here, comment below, what kind of a travel log app are you using? I've tried a bunch of apps that kind of do the same thing. I always come back to my own stuff. I just like handwriting, and that's kind of my deal there. Hey, Ryan, good to see you, man. Appreciate you joining us today. Oh, this is so hold on. So we got Ginger in the house, which is awesome. Bear with me. Yeah, Dark Sky is amazing, right, Greg? Oh, Ginger uses Dark Sky too. Yeah, it's a really great app. Apple bought the company, so I'm really curious to see what Apple integration into some of their apps. Because here's the great thing about the weather. as an RVer, I never realized this. When it's raining and you're in the house, you're completely oblivious to it. When it's windy, when it's cold, when it's foggy, when it's warm, when it's awesome, you're in your house. The weather is, you're disconnected from the weather until you step out, get into your car and drive when you run to the office or whatever. When you're in the RV, you're actually in the weather. And I love that. When the wind's blowing, I feel the van moving. If it's raining, I hear it, I smell it. And so I'm so connected to the weather more so than ever in my life before. It's just the most awesome thing. Savannah, yes, Ginger, we're going to be there next week. I'm so excited. Let's see, there was a couple questions here. And Ginger's got a good point here. So Ginger, the Ginger Walkabout has an awesome YouTube channel. Please go to her site, subscribe. She's the most amazing gal. So this is a great tip, by the way. Thank you, Ginger, for pointing this out. Self-serve car washes with high enough clearance, and that's the big point here. Could be, for avoiding hail. That's interesting. Another reason to get rid of the solar panels, right? For hail. Been a few hailstorms at a campground. Couldn't do anything about it except pray. And but the other thing, if you go to a self-serve car wash, make sure that you are mindful of all the stuff on top of your roof that can be snagged by one of those the hoses going around on the turnstile thing up there. You definitely don't want to be railing on something that's an air conditioner or a vent, plumbing vent, something like that. Sue wants to know, where's the one place you can't wait to go back to? Ginger? Texas. I can't wait to get back to Texas. And I can't get to Texas probably till, I don't even know, the fall, which is just killing me because of my obligations elsewhere. I just love Texas. I love Kentucky and Tennessee too. I'll be honest. It would be a real ball toss between those 3 states to find a place to call home base. Arizona too. Something about the cactus, the cacti, those big saguaro cactus. I just love them, and the people are so great. There's just such great attitudes. So it's a great question. Curious where you want to go. So this is Tony wants to know when and where is your next channel meetup? Well, the good news is that with some trajectory planned out now over the next I'll call it 90 days, we're gonna be planning some stuff. So I was hoping to get one more done here in Florida, but we're out of Florida. So stay tuned. They're gonna be places I haven't been before, which is kind of cool and exciting. And we're gonna have two styles. I call them roundups. It's kind of, we get together for a few hours during the day. If a harvest host will host us, that would be super ideal. We've done it here in Florida in January. It was so amazing. And I just so love to meet you people. It's because we become buds, and I get texts all the time from y'all, and it's so awesome. I just love that connection. And then we have Van Breeze, as we're calling, which is channel campouts, and I'm already planning to return to Wallace, Idaho in early October at Wallace, Idaho, to do another camp out there. It was so much fun. Oh my God, it was so much fun. We're gonna do that again. That's gonna be an annual event. And Ginger and I are talking about going to, as part of the Escapers Club, going to Las Vegas for Halloween. Kind of camping in a parking lot. They're renting a parking lot. So why not get a bunch of crazy Go Small Live Large vans, and we get a row to ourselves or something. Wouldn't that be cool? Vegas for Halloween. That's so cool. So that's kind of where I'm going. Hopefully that helps. Keep those questions coming in. We got some RV news coming up next. Wait till you see some of these articles. They're pretty amazing. We got 3 of them for you tonight. Yeah, so Tang's got a pretty good idea here. The Parker rig facing the oncoming winds. Back of the rig facing large sturdy building. Yeah, kind of interesting. I really haven't been in super violent weather. Hailstorm a couple times in South Dakota. Kind of wind and rain, but again, your weather apps can see it's a storm cell that's moving really fast, and the wind is at the front of that approaching storm cell, and they're probably 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. I mean, it's pretty, and then the wind, and then the rain, and then it's over. So it's not like you're sitting in a rainstorm that's severe for hours. It's really over in probably 20 minutes. And if you've seen those in your house, they pass really fast. So unless it's like tornadoes and stuff, which I haven't been through that yet. So let's see. Good questions tonight. I love these. So Angry Bubba here. This is a great question. So Angry Bubba says, are you able to write off your daily van life expenses on your taxes because of your YouTube channel? Should full-time van lifers start a YouTube channel to get those write-offs? I would not start a YouTube channel unless you're serious about it for a long game. It is so much work. For every 10 minutes you see on YouTube, it's at least 5 hours plus recording time. I would not do it for write-offs. I did it because I couldn't find what I wanted, and I saw a problem that I could probably solve. I'm so glad I did it. It was a means to an end, and it's paying off. But I didn't get it to get write-offs per se. Being in business in America, the tax code allows you to, certain write-offs. And the first part of your question is van life expenses on your taxes. I mean, things associated with the YouTube channel are tax deductible as a business expense. I document those. Heather, Tax Queen, is going to be on in April. I can't remember the exact date. I need to get these posted on my website. Apologies. Look there later for that. But she'd be a great one to pose that on. So please join us every Wednesday, for that matter, 6 p.m. Central for What's Up Wednesday. But I do, have a separate business. Just like our Airbnb business that Kyle runs, I have our RV business, which is the YouTube channel, and the Volta brand ambassador duties, and the Embassy RV duties. Those are all business expenses. So yes, as any entrepreneur, I take those deductions. So it's, how about this Arkansas Tracy? Oh, Tracy Prosser, how you doing, man? Is that Tracy Prosser? I shouldn't say her last name. Sorry. Jeez. Tracy, what's up? So Sandy asked a good question. And what type of RV did Kyle get? Yeah, I've teased you all for many months, and I apologize. And part of the reason, so what did he get? He got a B plus or a C minus, depending on how you want to classify it. If you're familiar with the leisure travel vans, those awesome RVs that come out of Canada, and that really energetic CEO, he bought one similar to that. It's a Regency RV built in Fort Worth, Texas. And we've made a nice relationship with that team, and we're going to be doing a factory tour just as soon as I can get to Fort Worth. And so that's what he bought. The reason he bought his RV that way is because he wanted a big bed, separate bath and shower. He'll never shower in it. It's basically a one-bedroom apartment parked in his mom's driveway because the Airbnb properties are sold out, and he was staying in a hotel every month, 20, 30 days a month. It was crazy. So that's the way he's RVing. Now he is getting out and about a little bit, and I'm excited. We're going to do, when we get to Savannah together next week, he's going to give you a tour, tell you why he bought it. We're going to do some comparisons. Sprinter versus ProMaster chassis, generator versus Volta. Wait till you see this. Oh my God. And a couple of other things that make it kind of unique. So hang in there. You've been super patient. I know we're the odd couple for sure, his and his RVs, but very different use case. He's actually headed to New Orleans right now in it, and then he's going to drive back. He's doing a family funeral, and then he's going to drive him to Savannah to meet me. So thank you for that. That's what he bought. Regency RV. You are welcome. And yeah, so I would put in pencil, not pen, on your calendar. We are planning a embassy, whether it's going to be a Vanbury day event, we're not quite sure yet. The campground is just opening up, so we're trying to get this nailed down, but it's looking like the first week in June. So if you're going to be in the Elkhart, Indiana area, first week in June, stay tuned, because we hope to do another embassy event. We did this last year. It was such a hit for everybody. So stay tuned for that. Great questions. Okay, so keep those questions rolling in. Got some great ones coming in here tonight. So let's shift gears just a little bit. Let's talk about, where'd my cursor go? Right here. Let's talk about RV news. So RV news headlines. Oops, let me get this off the screen and make this bigger so you can read it with me. So last week, if you remember, we talked about Thor posting record sales, record profits, record backlog. Not surprising that Winnebago's had a similar situation. So Q2 revenue, year over year, 34% increase, $840 million. That's pretty impressive, printing money, right? A profit increase of 300%, $69 million. backlog of over 15,000 units, a 424% year-over-year increase, and a 17% year-over-year increase in the driven in the motorized segment, largely driven by Class B. And if you've been trying to buy a new RV, every dealer I've been at through my Volta duties, they have, it's like an empty parking lot. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And there's almost like bidding wars on certain floor plans. So so pretty amazing, right? I'm so happy to see it. It'll give the industry, you know, a financial boost, get more people in rigs. But maybe that's why they're doing some of this crazy stuff in Walmarts. I don't know. And the campground, the national parks and stuff are packed. But I'm just happy to have more people involved. I think it's such a great way. Again, you don't have to be a full timer like me. There's no awards, no medals given for that. It's just the way I choose to roll. Just even as a tailgater, a Class B is just a great. And then a driving car. Imagine carrying your bathroom and your refrigerator and your bed wherever you are. It's pretty cool. So a couple other stories I'm going to add to the RV news. Normally we just have the one story, but this comes from our good friend Ginger Walkabout, and she kind of teased me with this this week. And this is a really good article out of the New Republic. I wasn't familiar with them, and I'll have these links on my website right after the broadcast tonight. So I apologize they're not there right now, but you can go read this. It's kind of a long article, and it talks about how people are really exploring other ways to live. And certainly if you're still of a working age and can work from the road, it is really catching on. And if you look at this graphic again, this is the graphic from the magazine article. He's taken a suntan and she's looking under the hood, which again kind of plays on the role reversals maybe, and just kind of changing up everything. What should life look at in the new paradigm, right? And I just love that article. It's really, really cool. And it starts off talking about the RV Entrepreneur Summit, which I got to go to in 2019 in March in Guntersville, Arkansas. And I got to meet some of my heroes. Keep Your Daydream. Who else was there? Oh my gosh. Of course, Keith and Alicia Paget. But just so it starts off there is the point. And even making money, turning your RV passion into a business, which I did, is part of this whole thing. So thanks for sharing that article, Ginger Walkabout. And this one comes from our friends at Mango Vans. We got a video coming up about them. They're a van builder here in Southern Florida. And this comes from a Canadian point of view. This comes from the Globe and Mail, one of the national big newspapers out of Canada, and kind of the same deal here. People looking for options. And again, vans are at the forefront of that just because they offer so much freedom, so much flexibility. And if you can deal with a small space, then it's really limitless what you can do and where you can go. Certainly if you have a good lithium system in your van, it's pretty freeing. And as always, these are posted in my website. Those two stories will be there later. 3 stories be there later tonight. So stay tuned for that. And just love to share those news points with you. And okay, let's look and see if we have any more. Well, let's look at viewer recommendation of the week. So this comes from Sue. Sue has given us some really good ones in the past. And I have to admit, I really like this one. And I am not a loser of keys. Maybe twice in like 20 years, I've lost my keys. But she talks about this product called Tile. The tileapp.com is where you can go. And it's $34. You attach it to your wallet. There's kind of like a credit card size, or this is like a dongle that hangs off your key ring. And then through the magic of the internet, you can actually keep track of where your device is. You can use it with your phone, your laptop. Sue described how her husband had lost a wallet. She'd lost the keys. If they've been kayaking, this is a great use case. Put one in your van. They were kayaking and they couldn't really remember exactly where they came off the river. So they used their app to locate the van. Now, how's that for something? So I'll put these. It looks like they're available on Amazon. So I'll get these on my store, so that makes it easy for you. We make a few dimes off of that, so that would be appreciate your purchase there. And the app in the corner, the bottom right corner there. This is an honorable mention. And if you have an iPhone, if you have an iPad, if you have a Mac, that is Find My. That is the Find My device app that Apple provides, and you do it. You connect them together through iCloud, and I can see on my app where my devices are, where Kyle's devices are, and I cannot tell you how nice it is. He loses his phone pretty regular. It's unfortunate to say. And he actually put it on recently on the top of the truck, and he drove away from Home Depot, and he didn't know it was on the truck, and he got a mile away and was then looking for his phone and couldn't find it. And we used the Find My app to locate his phone. I saw his phone at the intersection at the Home Depot. He went back to it. It'd been run over many times, but was still functioning, even though the screen was totally smashed. So that would be my hot tip. If you're not doing that as an RVer, researcher, no time, part-time or full-time, connect your devices so you can see what the heck they're going on. If you lose them, for sure they get stolen, then you can wipe them, and they're just a useless item. So it helps theft prevention as well. But great tip from Sue on the tile. Thank you, Sue, for bringing that to our attention. All right, let's look at some more questions. We got about 15 more minutes, and yeah, this is a Ginger Walkabout. She wants to go back to Savannah and Charleston. Been to Charleston, but not in the van. Never been to Savannah, so I'm super excited. Neither is Kyle. But there's still so many places I haven't been that's hard to repeat. I know, that's the problem, right? Even in Texas. I want to go back to Texas. There's so many places I haven't even been. All right, so Sparks Guy has a good question here. Have you ever stayed at Periwinkle Park on Sanibel Island? What camping spots between Naples and Tampa do you like? You know, that is a good question. I have not stayed at that park. I'm not familiar with it. If it's a state park, they're really hard to get in right now. I've stayed at a KOA on Sanibel Island that was okay. Kind of expensive. Okay. I camped on the Skyway Bridge. There's a north and south fishing pier where a lot of Vanlife folks stay the night, hopefully respectfully. So that's cool. Street camped in Fort Myers. Video coming up about that. That was so awesome. And Naples is south, right? Or is Naples north? I don't know my Gulf Coast as well as I should, I suppose. I love the Tampa Bay area. I'm going to actually try and street camp one night in Ybor City, which is a historic district where they made cigars, Cuban cigars, back in the day, outside of Tampa. Just it's a historic neighborhood, and it's such a cool area. I'm going to try and street camp there. I've already talked up a few folks, and I think I can get away with it. Street parking, not camping. Good question. What other questions you folks have? Let's see. Howdy from Florida. Yeah, Sandy, yeah. Regency's pretty cool. It's a really nice rig. It meets his needs exactly. So I'd say it'd be a ball. If you want that type of RV, it'd be a ball toss between leisure travel and what's the other? Pleasure Way. Do they make the big ones like that? I don't know, but leisure travel. Leisure travels are beautiful, but they're like an 18-month wait right now. Hey, Dean, got a Tolaro 20 AT. Congratulations. Really excited about that. Love Indy. So here's a good question. So Lola Love says, I'm in the process of adding an extra leaf to my 3-inch lift. This will bring my battery pack 1.5 to 2 inches higher. What is your thought? I love my lift. The extra 3 inches makes a tremendous amount of difference. My confidence is so much higher pulling into curbs, backing into curbs, up against a parking stop, even driveways. It's expensive, but just for the confidence, it is really, really nice for me. The extra leaf, I don't know. If you got to communicate with off-highway vans in Salt Lake City, which is where I had mine done, I assume you've talked this through with them. I mean, that might be a point where it gets top heavy. I'm a little bit like that now. I'm very happy with where mine is. So I don't have a great answer for you, other than I'm very happy with the way mine is. And if it gives you another 1 to 2 inches, that would be a 5-inch lift over the base, and that's a lot of clearance. So that's pretty cool. But keep us posted on that. I would love to know how that turns out for you. I will not be lifting Lily any further. She's fine where she is. Speaking of that, I think this is the video I'm going to post on Saturday. Lily's getting new shoes tomorrow. Lily's getting new shoes and brakes. She just turned 66,000 miles, and I still am running with the original brakes. I can't believe it. The last 3 Dodge Ram ProMaster dealers I've been to, and the most recent ones a couple months ago, they're about 60,000 miles, 65, 60,000. I kept asking about the brakes because, she's 8,500 pounds. She's pretty heavy and stopping, starting all the time. And they're like, hey, your brakes are fine. You got 5 millimeters left. Well, I think I finally got to the point. They just feel a little squishy. I got a little squeak in the back wheel. So she's going in new brakes tomorrow, and I'm getting the same BF Goodrich K02 tires. I looked at some other ones, and I just like the aggressive look, number one. I'm a big aesthetics guy. I know I'm kind of goofy, but they're really practical, and they have served so well. I've had these on now for probably close to 50,000 miles, and they have served so well. They're definitely worn, and not nearly. They're definitely worn, so they need to be replaced. But they're very grippy and soft, so they wear out. But I'm really excited to get new shoes and brakes on Lily tomorrow. I think you'll see that video this weekend. See how fast I can put together. Other questions? Oh, here, Sue. I love to see getting these recommendations. Hey, Sue. Thanks for your recommendation on the tile. Appreciate that. Sue said, we did a walking tour of Savannah, Georgia. Highly recommend doing the tour for sure. I can't wait to make videos. And that is just great. Thank you, Ginger. Yes, you have a thumb up if you learned anything tonight. We shared a lot tonight. This has been a pretty jam-packed info session. Give a thumb up. Sure appreciate that. Comment below where you're watching from. What recommendations? I should have put this up earlier. If I didn't, let me go back. What we'll do with Pet Photo. We'll do a song of the week. Questions go here, recommendations, and pet photos and things like that have a special email address. So let's use that. Oh, look at this. Timothy says, be sure to eat at the trailer park in Savannah. Why not? Oh my God, that's funny. We got to pull Lily right up in front, and for sure eat at the trailer park in Savannah. So Greg's got a question here. It's a good question. What is your next best full-time living RV suggestion that you would do just like you do? Does Embassy have a solution, Coleman Nova, or what is your next rig? I'm getting this question a lot, and I appreciate the question. I think it's a personal self-discovery. I think you need to identify why you want an RV, which determines how RV systems are going to enable your why, which then determines what RV you should buy. Mine came down to floor plan. That is my overriding concern, is the floor plan. The G floor plan fits my needs perfectly. I'm sitting on the jump seat. This isn't even available anymore in the new one because of this so flexible, underrated floor plan. You can sleep 2 adults in 2 4x6 beds so it's floor plan, and nobody's putting out a floor plan like this. So because of that, not changing a rig, I would not buy an RV, Class B for sure, without a lithium ion system. Volta arguably is the better, but Lithionics is very good. Mastervolt, don't know much about those. There's Victron as well, but I would say Volta and Lithionics would be one of the two, just because I'm more familiar with them than the other. But having the freedom that a lithium ion equipped van RV allows I've been harvest hosting and street camping for the last 3 nights. And tonight I came to plug in at Boondocker's Welcome, which is amazing. And you couldn't do that in any other RV without running a generator. And most harvest hosts won't let you run a generator. And they shouldn't, because they're noisy and obnoxious. And it's just, so that's my recommendation for it. I don't have every RVer has to really determine why you want an RV. I want to be quick, nimble, go anywhere, park anywhere, not sitting for weeks or months. I'm sitting for a couple of days. I roll in and explore an area for the course of a week. Harvest hosting, Boondocker's Welcome, street parking, maybe a campground nearby, but I'm always in motion. That's the way I wanted to RV. There's so much to see and do. So I can't do that in a Class A unless I park a big rig and then drag a car around. Not interested in that at this point. You can't really do the way I RV in Kyle's RV because they're big and they're They're obvious. And so Embassy doesn't have a G floor plan. Coachman doesn't have a G floor plan. They have lithium options, but I told Terry last time, I said, if you build me a G, I would take a very close look at it, but he's not building a G. And I use my bathroom. That's part of the why do you want to RV? I want to use my facilities. I want to use my bed. I want to use my dinette. I want to use my fridge. This is my house. So I planned a full time in it. So using the toilet, showering in it. I showered. Even the place I shower in my rig mostly is at RV parks. And if I'm out roaming around, I go to Planet Fitness. And if I go to some place where they're not allowing showering, which has happened during COVID, then I shower in my rig. So I planned to shower in my rig. So that's part of why do you want to RV? Freedom. Then the rig needs to back that up. So hopefully that answers your question. So my next dream RV is unknown at this point because the floor plan is not what it used to be with the Travato 59G. So great question. All right, a couple more questions. Let's see, what do we got here next? Great question, though. Thank you, Greg. What's on your short list, man? Let me know. So viewer song of the week. So Ginger Walkabout and I were texting a little bit this week, and she came up with this awesome song, Texas Men, never heard about it, by the group called The Chicks. Now, I wasn't familiar with the Chicks either, but apparently they dropped the name Dixie recently. Used to be the Dixie Chicks. Oh, I know those. So get your song app out and cue up Texas Men. It's really a toe tapper, I must admit. So Texas Men by The Chicks. Ginger Walkabout, thank you for that. And again, here's the email address. Flood my email box, please. Viewer recommendation of the week, song of the week, pet photo of the week, and GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com is the email address. And that's where you want to put that stuff. And only that stuff, please, goes in there. That would be awesome. Oh, look at this. Let's see. Amazon sells a hitch safe so you can store keys and cash. Yeah, that's interesting. In the floor, there's a kind of a safe too. You can lock it up, a floor safe here in the van, which is pretty cool. Now, if somebody really wants to get in, clearly it's not going to stop somebody with an axe. But look at this. Lucille's getting new shoes too. Woo, that's pretty awesome. Yes, look at the folks coming in tonight. Staying through. I love it. Thank you, each and every one of you. Oh, here's another Savannah tip. Look at this. Thank you, Tom. Eat breakfast at Clary's Cafe in Savannah. Best in town. Oof. I got to write these down. Shoot those over to me in email, GSL viewer recommendation at gmail.com, which kind of leads us to the pet photo of the week. And I have to end on maybe a slight sad note because I got to give Luke the pet photo of the week. What's cute about this photo, so Beyond Intentions, I don't think I've seen him in here tonight, but they are new to Travatoing. They have a GL. They have a cat with them full time. She's a traveling nurse, and they attended the Channel Roundup at the Harvest Host site, and it was so cute because Luke, they let Luke in, and their cat was cool. He was kind of off in the front, so they were cool. And the floor plans are the same, right? GLs. And Luke went right to his shelf, and Chris snapped a picture of Luke on Luke's shelf in their van, and it was just the cutest thing ever. So Luke gets the pet pick of the week, but I just love to see your pets, and we're pretty sure we're gonna get another pet, probably get another cat. Although it's a debate right now. Maybe we'll do a channel vote. But we miss Vanlife Luke, so rest in peace, Luke. And again, thank you for all your comments and well wishes, and sorry for your losses. You ladies and gentlemen, just been so great. I'm misty-eyed again if I keep talking about it. Yeah, thanks. It just was, I'll be honest, it took the wind out of my sails. This has been a month of March 2021 of the highest highs. So much cool stuff with Volta, so much cool channel growth, and the lowest lows losing Luke. And I really took the wind out of my sails. I've never been through that before, and it really took the wind out of my sails. So you folks have puffed some air back into them, so I appreciate that. All right, let's round out with just a couple more questions. Thank you, Shirley. That's some hot looking wheels. It's gonna be hotter tomorrow. I love that. Yeah, we don't need that. So here's was looking at, so Ginger Walkabout was rocking out to that one in the Old Town Cotton Gin RV park last night. Definitely needed Texas. So funny. All right. Well, with that, we're going to say a big thank you to each and every one of you joining the show live tonight, and thank you for watching the replay. A lot of information coming at you tonight. This was jam-packed, so keep those questions coming. Comment below. What are you curious about, whether you're researching, maybe you're part-time, taking trips, maybe you're weekending, tailgating, and just weekend trips. Maybe you're getting ready for a big trip for a few months as the spring arrives nationwide. So with that, we just say thank you again for watching, and we wish you a good day, good evening, and we will see you next week. Volta coming on next week. Get your questions for Volta. If you have questions, you could talk to the man himself, Jack. Volta Jack. So with that, we'll see you. Journey on. Bye-bye.